B. You will hear 3 different talks or lectures. In each talk or lecture there are 5 questions. For each question, choose the correct answer A, B, C or D. You will hear the talks or lectures only once. Now open your questions paper and look at talk or lecture 1. You now have 35 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
I was a small child when I left Vietnam and moved with my family to live in America. For me and my little brother, it didn't take long before we felt American. But for my parents and 2 older sisters, it was a different story. The biggest problem for my mother was the language. We were living in New York, and although there were quite a lot of Vietnamese families near us, they didn't work in the stores. This meant my mother had to take me with her when she went shopping, and I was usually at school. For my father, the most important thing when we arrived was to find a job. Luckily, he had friends who knew us in Vietnam, and they helped him get a job in a factory. It was hard for him to do that sort of work. In Saigon, he had been a doctor. My 2 older sisters went to high school. They worked hard and did well, and the school gave them extra English lessons. Even now, though, they speak with Vietnamese accents. My brother and I are lucky. We may look Vietnamese, but we speak with American accents. My family found the way of life very different. In Vietnam, my mother used to spend a lot of time visiting her sisters and brothers and looking after her mother and father. She feels quite lonely now. She says that in America you live inside your house, but in Vietnam, you take your house outside onto the street and share your life with everybody. I don't remember that, but I do find the winters are quite hard to put up with in New York. It's very cold and snows a lot. My mother still wears traditional Vietnamese clothes at home and always cooks us rice and noodles. I must admit, I prefer burgers and chips. Although my friends like to visit us, I often feel a bit embarrassed by my parents' way of life. They don't understand Americans, and I think I am more American than Vietnamese now. I suppose it's sad for them to have such a strange daughter.
Now open your question paper and look at talk or lecture 2. You now have 35 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
In American schools, almost every classroom is a mix of boys and girls. However, it was not always this way. In the past, schools did not teach girls subjects like science and math. In 1972, a law called Title IX was made in America. It gave girls an equal chance at education. Since then, boys and girls have been taught together. Recently, though, some schools are reconsidering separating classes. This is different than in the past, however. Girls still learn the same subjects as boys. They just study without boys in the classroom. Why? Well, scientists know that boys and girls learn differently. They also behave differently in the classroom. Boys are louder and more confident. They like to talk and show what they know. In general, girls are quieter. They prefer to listen and think carefully before they give their answers. When boys and girls are together, the boys can be too dominant. Also, boys and girls can bother each other. Instead of thinking about the lesson, they think about each other. In a separated classroom, they behave better and can focus on studying. Another reason for separated classes is that boys and girls often like different things. For instance, boys prefer stories with action and adventure. In an all-boys English class, the teacher can choose books that will be interesting to boys. This way, they will be more excited about the stories. Not all the classes are separated, just the main subjects, like English, math, science, and social studies. Still, some teachers think that separate education is not good. They worry that boys and girls will not learn how to work well together. Right now, less than 600 schools are trying separate classrooms. Time will show if it is a good idea or something that should be left in the past.
Now open your question paper and look at Talker Lecture 3. You now have 35 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Hi, I'd like to welcome all of you to the International Student Orientation at Norwalk College. I hope that your travels from your home country have been easy and that you are all settling in well. I believe I've met everyone, but just in case, I'm the Director for International Student Affairs, the person you can come to if you're having problems with your classes, your housing, visas. You're always welcome to stop by my office. We'll have several short workshops today, and we'll be talking about some common issues that international students face. The first one that I want to deal with is about communication, and in particular, nonverbal communication. Now, all of you have been studying English for some time. You have a good vocabulary, and you probably know all about verb tenses and modals and can ask directions and order from a menu. But communication is not only verbal. That is, talking is not the only language we use to communicate. Another way we communicate is through nonverbal communication, or body language. The term body language means the movements we use and the facial expressions we have, like smiling or frowning, the way we sit or stand, the way we touch or look at someone, the distance we stand from another person. Some psychologists say that more than 60% of our communication is actually done through body language. We do it without thinking or without ever having been specifically taught what the gestures or expressions mean. The problem is that body language is a little bit different in each culture, and this can often cause some problems with communication. Here's an example. In many places, it may be a little rude or disrespectful to look at another person directly in their eyes as you talk with them. So many international students will avoid this eye contact. But in America, we expect it. We think of eye contact as a sign of honesty and straightforwardness. American parents actually encourage their children to look people in the eye when speaking. Just imagine a conversation where an international student was trying to be respectful by not looking into the eyes of her American classmate. The American might wonder why her classmate wouldn't look directly at her, and the international classmate would be wondering why she was being stared at. The end result is an awkward and frustrating interaction. Oh, here's another one. Americans shake hands firmly when they greet each other because to Americans, a firm handshake signifies strength and power. But a soft or limp handshake is considered a sign of weakness. In some cultures, handshakes are less common, or a gentle, soft handshake is acceptable. So students need to know that when shaking hands, it's important to be firm. In America, a thumbs up sign, a thumb raised in the air.
That is the end of part 3. Now you have 5 minutes to check your answers and transfer your answers. Now turn to part 3. You will hear 3 different talks or lectures. In each talk or lecture there are 5 questions. For each question, choose the correct answer A, B, C, or D. You will hear the talks or lectures only once. Now open your questions paper and look at talk or lecture 1. You now have 35 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Welcome everybody to this presentation about creating a corporate image for your company. I wonder if when you came in today you thought, hey, this guy hasn't got a suit on. This could be an interesting day. You see, I believe that the way you dress is very important. I decided to come here rather casually dressed, not because I wanted to make a fashion statement, but because I wanted to let you know that this is not going to be a formal presentation. On the other hand, I want you to work hard and get something out of the day. I'm not wearing shorts and a t-shirt, for instance. So, how would you describe the way I'm dressed?
Smart, but casual.
Exactly. But I also believe there are particular occasions when you need to wear a suit, such as meeting a client, especially if you expect the client to be wearing one. Which brings me to a recent trend which we've picked up from the Americans, Dress Down Friday. How many of you are dressing more informally on a Friday? Yeah, quite a lot of you. How many of you go as far as wearing jeans? Yeah, not so many. Probably many of that small group work in the IT sector. I thought so. So you see, it's not just the day of the week or what clients may expect of you, it's the business you're in. If, for example, you work in a bank, you're probably going to be in a dark suit every day of the week. And then there are those of us who are expected to wear a uniform. What you are doing here is projecting a very specific image of your company or service. Usually, it's to do with reliability, expertise, and efficiency. Customers and the general public feel reassured about someone in a recognizable uniform. Dress Down Friday is a long way off for this group of employees. Now, let's have a look at other ways in which a company projects its image.
Now open your question paper and look at talk or lecture 2. You now have 35 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Do you get enough sleep at night? Do you ever feel tired during school? You may not be the only one. According to the National Sleep Foundation, kids aren't getting enough sleep, and it's affecting how they do in school. Experts say that kids need about 10 hours of sleep each night. Your body needs sleep so it can rest for the next day. Animals need sleep to stay healthy. Cats and dogs sleep for about 15 hours each day. Sleep is also important for your brain. Just like your body, your brain needs a little vacation every night. Without enough sleep, students can't learn as well. They cannot pay attention, follow directions, or solve problems as well. Also, tired kids act in ways that they usually don't. They can easily get angry with their friends or get in trouble in class. Scientists at the National Sleep Foundation talked to 1,400 kids. They asked them about their sleeping habits. They found that about 70% of kids were not getting enough sleep. The scientists think that soda and television are part of the reason. Drinks like cola, coffee, and tea have caffeine in them. Caffeine makes people stay awake. Kids who had drinks with caffeine got less sleep than other kids. Television is also a problem. When kids watch too much TV, they have to stay up later to finish their homework. Scientists also found that many kids had a TV in their room. These kids often stayed up late to watch a show. So, what can you do to make sure that you get enough sleep? Try not to drink anything with caffeine, especially at night. Sleep experts suggest that you try to go to bed at the same time every night. Don't do anything exciting before you go to bed. For instance, don't watch a scary movie or exercise. Try to do something relaxing, like reading a book or listening to quiet music.
Now open your question paper and look at Talker Lecture 3. You now have 35 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
If you have ever seen the Northern Lights, you know that they are one of nature's most beautiful sights. People often describe seeing a faint glow appear on the horizon in the night sky. Then they may see wonderful colors such as green, red, blue, or purple stretch across the sky. The shape of the Northern Lights can be straight lines, or it may be curved like the letter S, or round, just like a wheel. The colored lights and shapes move across the night sky like ocean waves. No matter what the color or shape is, the Northern Lights are truly an amazing sight. Many people know them by their common name, the Northern Lights. But do you know the meaning of the real name? The scientific name for the Northern Lights comes from Latin. It is Aurora Borealis. In English, the Latin word aurora translates to dawn, which means early morning. The Latin word borealis means northern. So Aurora Borealis can be translated as northern dawn, which describes the look of the northern sky in the very early morning. If you have never seen Aurora Borealis, you are not alone. This natural phenomenon is not common in most parts of the world. In fact, many people travel or go on tours to places where they can see the Northern Lights. Where are these places? The best place to see Aurora Borealis is near the North Pole, the northernmost point of Earth, especially in areas such as northern Greenland, Scandinavia, and Alaska. Many years ago, before modern science, people developed stories, myths, and legends to explain natural phenomena, such as Aurora Borealis. Finnish people called them foxfires and believed the lights were caused when foxes made fires to keep warm. The Inuit people of northern Canada and Greenland believed that the aurora was the dance of animal spirits such as deer, seals, and whales. The way the Northern Lights work is similar to a neon sign. Gas travels along magnetic lines. The lights occur when electric particles, electrons, collide with gas atoms, causing the atoms to give off light. The result is the amazing sweeps and waves of color that you can see. It's a wonderful sight if you happen to be in the right place at the right time.
That is the end of part 3. Now you have 5 minutes to check your answer.
Part 3. Questions 21 to 35. In this part, you will hear 3 talks, lectures or conversations. The talks, lectures or conversations will not be repeated. There are 5 questions for each talk, lecture or conversation. For each question, choose the right answer. A, B, C or D. Questions 21 to 25 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 21 to 25.
Hi there. I was looking for information about becoming a political science major.
Sure, we have some brochures right here.
Thanks, but could I ask you a few questions?
No problem. Fire away.
Are there many requirements for political science?
Not really. Just you must take Political Science 1 and 2, a general history class, and a writing seminar.
I thought you had to take economics too.
Not for the general political science program, but there are a couple of specialized programs that have additional requirements.
Oh, really? What are they?
Well, there is the International Relations program. It is more interdisciplinary, so it requires economics and a second history credit. The 2 history credits have to be in different regions. There is also the Honors Political Science program. To get into that, you need to take the same economics class as the International Relations program and a special political science seminar. And you need to maintain over a B average in all those required courses.
Wow, that sounds difficult.
Yeah, not many people are qualified for the honors program. That's why it's considered more prestigious, I guess.
Is that all?
No. You also have to complete this form listing all the political science and related credits you have already taken or plan to take, and get the department chair to sign off on it.
Ugh, this is really a lot of work.
Yeah, but everyone has to do it. It's not different from any other majors. The department wants to know that you've thought about your major carefully and thoroughly, and that all the students are being realistic in their expectations.
Questions 26 to 30 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 26 to 30.
Hey, Clara. Got a minute?
Oh, hi, Will. Sure, I've got plenty of time. What's the matter?
Did you see the poster saying that our debate club meeting tonight had been moved?
Oh, yes. You didn't get the email?
My computer hasn't been working these few days, so I can't get access to my mailbox. Anyway, why has it been moved?
That whole wing of the Student Union building is getting repainted today, so it's off limits until the paint dries, vented properly, and the workers clean everything up.
It's about time. The club offices in the student building have been looking run down for quite a while now. A new paint job would do them a world of good.
And the rooms are going to be repainted in a lighter color, too. That old paint was too dark and depressing.
A lighter color would help everything look bigger, too. Our debate club could use that.
Yeah, but we need more than just light paint. We've grown too big for that little room. We really need to move into a bigger place.
Any chance of that happening?
Not that I know of. Except for tonight, that is. Just for this once. We'll be meeting downstairs in Turner Auditorium.
That place is huge. Way too big for us.
I know, but it was the only place available tonight. And it was either there or else cancel the meeting altogether.
I guess it's better than canceling. Although, to be honest, I could use another week to prepare for my speech. I've been really busy with my classes lately.
Questions 31 to 35 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 31 to 35.
Science fiction is very popular these days, in books, in movies, and on TV. Unfortunately, popular science fiction is often a lot more fiction, and not so much science. One of the most common problems is science fiction's fascination with faster-than-light travel. We know that is impossible as it violates Einstein's basic theory of space and time. But on Star Trek and other science fiction shows, spaceships jump from star to star and galaxy to galaxy like you or I might want to drive to another city. In truth, the closest star to Earth, Proxima Centauri, is over 3 light years away. That means traveling at the speed of light, the fastest speed anyone theoretically could travel. It would take 3 years to make it to our nearest neighbor. Other stars and galaxies are routinely thousands and millions of light years away, making intergalactic travel an impossibility. Even if we grant that such space travel somehow was possible, there is no shortage of other errors in popular science fiction. In Star Wars and other films, spaceships swoop across the screen with their Their engines emitting a great roar. However, since space is a void, sound waves cannot travel. There is no sound in space. It is utterly silent. Gravity is another mystery in these films. Gravity depends mostly on mass. Spaceships are tiny compared to the mass of Earth. In space, there should be practically no gravity. And yet people in science fiction routinely walk around on their spaceships in space as comfortably as they would on Earth. That said, there have been a few scarce films that bothered to portray the science of spaceflight somewhat realistically. In 2001, A Space Odyssey, the ship must rotate to create artificial gravity. Outside the spaceship there is total silence, and the voyage from Earth to Jupiter takes many months. But such films are the exception, not the rule. While science fiction may be enjoyable, you should look elsewhere to learn about science.